AzMusic.org. We're here with Jason Nicklin. Jason Nicklin, I like to call you the dark horse. I call you the dark horse. You're very prominent in the scene, and it's been a slow process. It just happened, and it happened very organically, which is great. But what introduced you to the Tempe scene?
My best friend worked with me at Wells Fargo for years, and her husband is a musician, and back in 2008 she invited me out to one of his shows, and then I've just been going to local shows ever since then. And his band's not around anymore, which was Free the Sun, but now he's the sound guy at the Blues.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And the Blues is one of your venues.
Yes.
Now that you've kind of transitioned from Jason Nicklin the fan to Jason Nicklin the promoter.
Yes.
Now that that's happened for you, what are some of the venues that you like? I know the Blues is one of them. Tell us about that.
The Blues, Joe's Grotto, and Folk Hour are my favorite venues. They all have great sound. They got a great vibe to them. Great crowd comes out all the time. Each one has a different thing going for it, that, as opposed to the others, that makes them great and differentiates them. Like Folk Hour is the best venue with food. And yet the sound is great. I just had my Punksgiving event there just recently.
Yes,
it was amazing.
It was a big hit.
Yes, it was.
Well, and I kind of want to go a little bit deeper because, sound and vibe and crowd and, that is all has to be there.
Yes.
All that has to be there. But what other things need to be in place for you to have a relationship with a venue?
Well, there has to be some kind of rapport with the manager or owner of the venue. Like Victor Cow, the owner of Folk Cow, he is heavily into supporting local musicians, and he has locals who are like family over there that come in all the time. They love the place. It's an outstanding venue. Like Ricardo, whose wife got me onto the scene.
Who's Ricardo?
Ricardo Lozano. He's the sound guy at the Blues. He's the main reason that's become a favorite venue. They would already have great metal shows on there even before then, but since he's become the sound guy, they've upgraded sound to the point where it's probably the best sounding venue around.
Well, you are probably the one and only man right now that's taking people who are so ingrained in the Tempe scene and getting them out to North Phoenix. How does that make you feel?
Well, I like that they're following me out there. Out in Tempe, I used to I went to the Sister Lip Mondays at Long Wong's all the time, met lots of people there. That was a weekly experience I never missed. I loved that place, met a lot of cool people there, and like some of them, I go to their shows all the time out here now. So like I met my friends in Kid Dynamite and the Blast, played a show there, and now they go and play most of my shows. Sister Lip was always amazing. Manic Monkeys would go out there all the time. They're good friends of mine. I miss that venue a lot, and like Folk Cow is kind of starting to take over from what Long Wong's used to be.
And you know what? That, to a lot of people, that's great to hear, because Long Wong's had such a following and what we call the hippie crowd.
Yes.
Would you say that Focal is that same hippie crowd, or is it drawing different people?
It started out with drawing that same crowd, but Other people are starting to go there. Like I introduced members of the punk scene to the place, and now they go there all the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so some of them go there like 3 times a week now, and they never heard of the place before I told them about it. So that makes me kind of proud.
Of
so,
course.
Yeah.
Of course. So I'm gonna just ask you a very roundabout question. What are some of your favorite national bands?
Well, like my all-time favorite band is Pink Floyd.
Psychedelic rock guy.
Yeah. They were the second concert I ever saw. I saw them when they played in '94 at Sun Devil Stadium. At one of the best concerts of my life. They're still my all-time favorite band. They're not around anymore, of course, but I catch Roger Waters whenever he comes into town. And
isn't he on his way back?
oh, he just went and released a movie that was a tour on the Wall tour that he just recently did. I got to see that over at the U.S. Airways Arena, and it was amazing. He has the Blu-ray coming out December 1st, which I've already pre-ordered.
So are you able to get out and enjoy some shows just for pleasure now?
Oh,
that you're...
absolutely.
Yeah.
And the shows that I go and book, I'm having the time of my life at these shows, and everyone else is having fun, and that's how I know it's a success.
Yeah. The main question that I want to ask you, and that I know that's on everyone's mind, what drives you to get into such an insane business promoting?
Most of my friends are musicians, and I prefer local music to national acts because I think that the labels go and remove a lot of the originality and the soul from the music these days. And a lot of the national acts now are watered down sellouts like the Nickelbacks and stuff like that, and I hate that. In my opinion, the only good thing on radio anymore is like Go Punk Yourself on Sunday night. Other than that, never listen to radio ever. I go and make my own CDs out of my library to listen to.
We love your mixes. Your mixes are dope. Definitely. One thing that I have to say is, like, when local bands see you, you are a very imposing figure. You're 6'3" with the leather jacket. People know who you are.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite local bands?
Oh, like Vex and Sectus on the metal end of the scene.
Okay.
And, like the Woodworks are a favorite of mine. I try to catch them as often as I can. They played my last birthday party, and it was amazing. Like Vices to the Grave are one of my favorite punk bands. I try to catch them as often as I can. Like once I had to miss one of their shows, and people heard I wasn't coming, and they said, "You're a liar." So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you and like level with me. What are some of your fears getting into this whole business of promoting? You're making a name for yourself. So what are some of your fears?
Oh, just basically, if a show's unsuccessful, people don't come out. But so far, I haven't had any dead nights. I've had 3 shows so far. The most recent one was the best one of all of them.
Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, I had an amazing night. Everybody was having a great time. Tried to create a Thanksgiving for the local music scene there, because Folk House is my favorite venue with food, as I said, so we all came out and we could go and eat while we watched the acoustic acts that played first, and then had punk bands come in on there, like Vices and Ethan 103 both killed it. The acoustic bands were great. It was a fantastic night.
So what does Jason Nicklin do when no one comes out?
Well, that has not happened yet, thankfully. So I'll go and even drive friends to the venue to make sure there are people there. I want it to be a success. These bands, I love them, and I want other people to see them and to love them too. and that's what it's all about. Get them exposure and make sure they have a good time, and I'm able to pay them too. So,
what are some of the perks of what's been happening? Like, this has all kind of come full circle for you pretty quickly. I won't say, I'll take that back. I won't say quickly, but this is all happening the way that you are happy with right now.
Yeah.
So what are some of the perks that are happening for you?
Well, that I get to pick the lineup for the shows that I want to see. That's the biggest perk. Yeah, so it's like a lot of shows. It's like there'll be 2 good bands at this show and 3 at that one, so you have to go to multiple shows in the same night. Whereas if I set up a show, it's solid the entire night. You can just go to the one and see an amazing show, and you don't have to go anywhere else.
What were you like in high school?
In high school, I was when I was just starting to get heavy into the music. There was not a lot of people who were into my kind of music back then, because that's when 90s country hit big, and I hated that stuff. So it was kind of rough. There was a small rocker crowd, and we all hung together and stuff. I'm still in touch with some of those people.
Where are you from?
I was born in Torrance, California, and I grew up in Hawthorne, California until I was 14, and then we moved out to Arizona.
What part of the valley did you grow up in?
Oh, like my teenage years, I lived in Apache Junction. We moved out there when I was 14, and then back in '96, my parents split up, and we moved out to Mesa. So
where do you live now?
Now I live in Mesa.
Okay. And have you thought about incorporating, because the 3 venues that you've really breathed life into have been the Blues, Facao, and now Joe's Grotto is on the horizon for you. Would you like to branch out into Mesa and see if you can get some, because Mesa right now is a dead city when it comes to venues.
I am not impressed with the venues that are in Mesa. That, in my opinion, those are some of the worst venues we've got right now. And maybe it's the management, I don't know, but I don't care for them, and I don't go to shows at them. I'll drive 45 minutes to a venue in Phoenix rather than go to one of their shows.
So you have no interest in reincarnating a venue out there?
Not really. Something new would probably have to be started out here for it to do it. Like, I've been to some good shows at Krabby Don's, but that's probably the only venue out here that I even remotely care for. I had high hopes for the Club Red when they moved out here, but it didn't pan out. I loved the old Club Red.
And we won't even talk about the AZ Event Center, people.
Yeah. The only place where I've ever been where they wanted to charge me for tap water. Yes. It's like, I'm not coming here again.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, what does this scene mean to you? Because when I look at you and when I listen to you talk, I feel like you really care for it.
Absolutely. These are my closest friends. I love them, and I want to make them as successful as I can. I introduce people to new bands all the time, and when they start following that band and going to shows all the time, then that gives me a sense of pride that I've accomplished something.
So, Punksgiving, did you make money, or did you break even, or did you lose money?
I made some money. I paid out most of it to the bands, but I kept some too. So,
of course, you should.
And I'm partnering up with Pat Riot, where any show I do, he can go and sell merch there. He made money, so
that's awesome.
Yeah, he's like he's like a brother to me. I want to do anything I can to help him.
We love Riotous Rags.
Yeah, we do. Yes. And he has designed the logo for my production company, and people seem to dig it, so you'll be seeing that real soon.
Well, take us out by telling us what's coming up as far as Jason Nicklin shows.
January 16th at the Blues, it will be my dad's 68th birthday party. And
Vietnam vet!
Yes, he is. And I've picked bands that are favorites of his that these bands, they love my dad. They call him Pops when they see him. So, yeah.
What's the lineup for that show?
Nomada is headlining it, and then I've got Nept Hero, Kid Dynamite and the Blast, Catch the Fire, Vices to the Grave. It's going to be a fantastic night. Then I got a show at Joe's Grotto February 12th. Nept Hero is going to be headlining that. In March 18th, we'll be at the Blues again, and it'll be my birthday and Pat Riot's birthday. We both picked bands that are favorites of ours.
Who's going to be headlining that show?
That will be Contradiction. It will be their first show coming back after the birth of baby's firstborn daughter.
Right on.
Yeah, those are good friends of mine. So that's going to be a good time.
So all in all, I'm going to wrap up here, but all in all, how are you feeling now that this is all happening? And with Punksgiving, you've really made a mark.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I'm proud of where it's going. I have a good outlook on the future for it. Like some of the bands that I've known for years went and said, "You're doing it." Like Jesse Val told me that at Punksgiving. So I felt proud that I was accomplishing something. That Victor Cow was very happy with the turnout and the event. The staff at the venue loved the bands, came up to me, told me how much they liked the music. So that's a sense of pride from that.
Well, definitely, in my opinion, with the scene out here, it's a big nucleus, and you're one cell that it couldn't happen with.
Well, there are like multiple scenes out here. Like you got the metal scene, you got the punk scene, you got the alt scene, the hip hop scene, and I go out I support bands in all of those scenes. So people all across the spectrum know me because of that. And I try to mix genres in my shows. I don't want it just to all be one genre. I want to expose people to stuff they haven't seen before. Because if I can love multiple genres, other people can too.
That's amazing. Can you do us a favor? Can you do AzMusic.org a favor and stand up for a moment? Because when people see you, I'm not joking, when people see you, they know it's Jason Nicklin.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Jason. We appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you for doing this.
Thank you.